Hi, everybody. This is John from AU Packmule, the Outlaw Snuggler. So thanks for joining us. And today I have a very special guest. I'm so excited. It seems like I've just been really blessed with the people that have been on the show. And today it's no exception. We have Raised Alba, and we're going to talk about Westworld. So I appreciate you guys joining us, and I hope you're ready for Monday to be not boring. So Ray, would you like to say hi to everybody?
I just want to say hi to everyone in the chat room. I see a lot of familiar faces and a bunch of new ones. I'm grateful with AU for having me. So I'm, just dying to talk some Westworld, man. It's been a great show.
I'm totally excited about this show, and the episodes just seem to be getting much better. I don't know if you've noticed this, but a slow, steady progression, kind of like the escalators that Bernie takes to his room. Just slow and steady, just keeps getting better and better. And last night was no exception. It's been totally awesome. So, what were you able to watch the show from the beginning?
Yeah, I've actually seen all the episodes already. I've seen it the same day, and then I probably, if I'm maybe a little bit confused, I rewatch it just to make sure I understood at least what they're trying to get through to me, because it sometimes feels like they're trying to hide something, but they're trying to tell you something at the same time. So, it's original, man. It's something cool. I'm telling you, I love the show.
That's awesome. So, have you developed any favorite characters yet?
Yeah, let me see. Dolores is one up there, and forget her name.
Maeve?
Yeah, the one her yeah the lady who's self-aware now.
Yeah, Maeve Milley.
Yeah.
She is
She's
the hostess
awesome.
at the Mariposa Saloon, played by Thandie Newton, and she is just fantastic.
She's been great.
Yeah, she just draws you into that, to believing that there's no no doubt that she is self-aware, right?
Yeah, no, and I don't know, it's something about like her character. It seems like like, to me, one of the things that I've loved about the characters is like everybody is doing their own thing. So at times you're just like, okay, this is going in so many directions that I feel like her character has like stood out a lot to me. Even more recently, after like the last two episodes, she's been like a total standout to me. Like, and that actress, I loved her. And I believe, was it in Mission Impossible? I think she was in one of them, one of the Mission Impossible movies. Yeah, man, she's great.
Actually, both her and Anthony Hopkins was in Mission Impossible 2. So
Yeah,
it's kind of a
I
nice
remember
combination.
Awesome, man. Like I can't stress enough how much I love that character. Like that character, just the way that she threatens everyone. Like just like the little manuals. Like, yo, her acting has been great, and that's one of the things I really love about the show too. Because it's like the cast is awesome. It's like grade A casting, like top notch. And yo, I'm telling you, this has been a godsend for us Game of Thrones lovers. To let us move along the long night. It's awesome, man. Awesome.
Yeah, I often say the night is long and full of clowns, but now we we don't see any more clowns, but we see a lot of cowboys, so that's awesome. So was your episodes in sequence like I was talking about earlier, or do you have a favorite that stands out to you?
A favorite episode? I think that yesterday's episode was my, because it was sort of like a payoff, right? We finally got something real big. Like, oh, I'm not sure we could cuss, but oh snap, this is what's happening. So, because we've kind of tiptoed around Anthony Hopkins' character a bit, but like yesterday was just such a big, and I would imagine people are aware of everything, but like that big reveal that we had at the end yesterday was just ridiculous. It was crazy. So I think yesterday, without a doubt, I loved all the other episodes, but like they were building up, I think, to yesterday.
It's funny you should say that because on October 6th, I did my first episode review, and I said that Bernie was a host, and so I've been bragging all day. The last 24 hours, I've been jumping up and down like a little girl. So it's been fun.
No, but when I saw that, I was like, oh no, I was like, yo, no, because like for him to be so. Like, because with me, my thing was, if it is Bernard, right? And Bernard is like, let's say, for example, a host or whatever. I was like, wouldn't he be like, since he's so smart, wouldn't he have checked himself? Because of course we know that the hosts aren't aware. Like they would never think it, or they would never like imagine something like that. But I mean, like, I just thought like he would have had that confirmed. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was still a shocker to me. It was like, I'm telling you, it was awesome. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, in the second scene when he's interviewing Hector, and he's like, "Are you aware of anything that's not correct in your world?" And have you had any self-realization of what's going on with everything? I just thought it was funny because I was asking the same thing of him, you know.
Yeah, it seems like you had it. You were thinking about it for a while because I had seen like I think it was like a video like 3 episodes in or 4 episodes in, and I was like, is that even like a possibility? I was like, no, I brushed it off because I thought that he would at least be self-aware enough to have checked himself, or I don't know, maybe it's just when I did see it going south though yesterday when he did not see the door when like they were going, I was like, that was when it hit me. I was like. It's a wrap. It's done. Everyone go home. It's nothing else to see. That's when I knew it. Like, you know what I mean? So that was crazy though.
Yeah. The whole part of his interaction with Ford was very telling to me from the beginning. And when I realized when they showed how they were making the eye, with the needle going back and forth and making the eye, it was like, wait a minute. They can make eyes. They can make people see whatever they want to see. And Bernard has glasses. Why does he have glasses? I mean, we have surgery now. You can fix that. So anyway, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. So other than that, do you like the Western part of the show, or would you rather it be more AI centered? Because we saw a lot of Dolores and William doing Western cowboy stuff.
Well, to be honest, I'm kind of new to the whole Western thing, but I think because of that, I like it combined with like this scientific type approach to it. Like, I'm really interested with the way that I've really enjoyed the way that they've combined both things, right? Because you have science and something like the total opposite of what you would think science. Like you wouldn't think of science when it comes to Westerns and stuff like that. But I'm telling you, it's just like a perfect blend of everything, and the theme of it, like a park. It's like Jurassic Park met. I don't know. It's crazy. It's crazy because I really haven't talked that much of it. That's why I'm a bit overwhelmed right now. Actually trying to get my thoughts across because I'm like not even in life I've talked this much about Westworld. So it's pretty cool talking about it.
I think if I would explode if I wasn't able to talk on these live streams about Westworld. Yeah, but you can ask a lot of the people in the chat. I just love the interaction. So, hey, everybody in the chat, could you do me a favor and tell me who your favorite character is? I'd love to hear what you have to say. Male, female, doesn't matter. So, speaking of the chat, why don't we just say hi to everybody? We've got Lab, of course, always there, and thank you so much. And by the way, special shout out to her. She's doing a new channel called the Texas Dark Arts Society. Be doing a horror motif, and I think she's going to start on Saturday. So check that out. And I'm sure she's going to send out a link to everybody. And I think it's on my description of the episode review that I did for episode 7. So if you don't see it, check it out there. Alan Vanderson, David Adams. David, thank you so much for sending out the notification for all the links. And of course, Broke Blackman 94, who is David also. And he has a lot of great YouTube videos too. T Baby's here. Oh my gosh, I'm so honored. Thank you, T. Hi. James Clooney, left sack. Nice to see you there, buddy. Great. Biotic Flux is here. Thank you very much. Jake Cruz is here. Wow. Kevin Winter Madness. Awesome. Hey, guys, thanks so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. I know Ray has been entertaining us for a long time with his videos. So, Ray, you have actually something going on right now with a giveaway. Why don't you tell us about what's going on there?
Oh, yeah, I have a giveaway on my channel. I am going, like last time I did it randomly. This time I think I might actually just choose someone, one of, my subs, because I have, like I said, everyone here, I think, that I've seen in the chat, I've seen a lot of you guys are sub to my channel. And it's such a cool community, so I like giving back. I have a giveaway, and it is a set of books, leather-bound books from A Song of Ice and Fire. It goes from A Game of Thrones to A Dance with Dragons, and I'm giving it away. So all you guys have to do is just be sub to my channel and be there. And I guess hopefully, let's see if I choose you. Hell, I probably might put my grandmother to choose the person. Like I might tell my grandmother, see, who do you think there should get a set of books?
Maybe you should let your grandmother have the books.
Like my grandma? No, like you should see. Like I wish I would have recorded it though. Like I showed my grandmother Arya killing Meryn Trant once, and my grandmother loved it. Like when I told her the backstory, she was like, "Yeah, get him, get him." I was like, "Yo, this is priceless." I was thinking about maybe watching and recording like the reaction, but I don't know. We'll see maybe in the future.
It's a lot harder to be candid like that, isn't it, than you think?
Yeah, it is. It's a lot more difficult in the recording. Like I recorded myself reacting to 2 episodes last season, but I did not have the right camera for it. Like I didn't have the camera I have now, and it didn't come out looking as nice. I don't know if I might upload it eventually, but it's pretty fun doing it though. I probably might do my reviews in that when the season starts.
Sounds good, man. So when I did a episode last week, a live stream last week about the Game of Thrones versus Westworld, and I was comparing just the first 6 episodes, but since we've seen the 7th one, I know you've seen it. How would you compare even just the first year of Game of Thrones to Westworld?
Oh, that is interesting. I mean, I like the way that I see it. I see that they have that unique thing. Like it's like an it factor. That's what I like to think of it as. Like it's an it factor for TV shows. And I believe that I saw somewhere like the premiere, the series premiere of Westworld was larger, I think, than it was for Game of Thrones. I'm not sure if that's true, but I think I read that somewhere. But like, because it's a really catchy and interesting and new thing. You know what I mean? Everybody wants to copy Game of Thrones and have something similar to Game of Thrones. Like, of course, all these big shows. Like, I've never seen Vikings. I've heard it's really good, but I've heard that, it's kind of similar. And, it's Vikings, all right? It's not medieval and stuff like that, but, you could see that it's something maybe to – because if you notice, they don't run the show during the time that they're running Game of Thrones because I'm guessing – it's to give you that Game of Thrones fix. So just I don't know. I see a lot of the characters have similarities in a way. Like I feel that Ford would live in Westeros. Like he's a real person that I could imagine living in Westeros. Like that character seems crazy to me. Like he reminds me of I don't know, Tywin meets Littlefinger and Varys. Like he hears everything, he manipulates everyone, and he throws the hammer down. So like that one character alone reminds me of like those three at the same time. So I see a lot of similarities, and I get the same feeling sometimes when I watch.
Like when you stand up and cheer for for the good guys. Yeah, I'm the same way.
I mean, yesterday I didn't see that coming with Ford and Bernard, and like that's like a oh snap, they threw Bran out the window moment. Like, you know what I mean? The only thing is the Game of Thrones gave it to you sooner, but the buildup that we had up to yesterday's episode was ridiculous. So having that happen, it was just like, damn, like I wasn't expecting it.
I agree. It was totally totally awesome. Yeah. So what do you see based on the first 7 episodes, what do you think is going to happen next?
Well, like I'm not sure. I think yesterday I told you maybe that I thought that maybe perhaps that host that he was making would maybe possibly be he might want to replace the lady who Bernard killed. Damn, I'm horrible with names.
Teresa Cullen.
Teresa. That I think that he might want to replace Teresa with, like, because I don't know, the boss in this park, one of the bosses disappears and nobody's going to look into that. So, you know, there might be a possibility that she might need to be replaced with a host, a self-aware host like Bernard is. I don't know. It's interesting. I'm also interested in knowing how he's going to approach now that Bernard knows that he's a host. Will he just erase his memory? Or like, will he let him know? I don't know. It's very different. I don't know. Like yesterday was a game changer.
I can tell you're all excited.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's
yesterday
good.
Was a game changer.
I couldn't agree with you more. It definitely makes you open up your mind to just about any possibility whatsoever, and then you spend half your time contemplating what happens. But as far as the skeleton that he was making, that's definitely going to be Teresa. I don't see any doubt at all with that one. And as a matter of fact, I don't know if you noticed, but the stairway where they went from the house down to the little lab, I thought was the same area where Dolores was being questioned by Bernard. Do you agree?
I totally agree with that. I thought that same thing. I was like, and especially after revealing what happened with Bernard, right? Because what I thought yesterday was when I saw that, I was like, well, but this is where Bernard is bringing Dolores and then asking her whatever. But after what we saw happened, I think that Ford has like a weird suspicion of Dolores, and he's using Bernard to question Dolores. Like, because we know that he asked her about Arnold, when was the last time? But maybe, you know, their code or they're encrypted to not talk to Ford. And maybe since Bernard is a host that nobody knows is a host or a robot or whatever you want to call him, because he's not a host because he's not hosting anybody. But, you know, I think that there's something fishy. There's something deeper there with the whole Arnold thing. So I'm interested.
Yeah, I think when your boss asks you a question and you answer him in a certain way, and then you get asked by your lover the same thing, you respond differently. And I think that's what Ford was going for. There wasn't anything other than that in regards to having Bernard there all the time. But with Dolores, I think it's more of him hiding from Arnold. But to be honest with you, my theory is that there is no such thing as Arnold. He only made him up because we don't really know of an Arnold story prior to episode 2 when Bernard confronted Ford about Arnold. And being that Ford made Bernie, then it's kind of a strange situation. What do you think?
I mean, like, could you repeat that? You said that you want to know what? Because I have this. I read a question from Jake, and it kind of threw me off. Like, Like,
Yeah, no problem.
yeah.
T-Baby does that all the time. She's like, what's the question? I love that. So yeah, the chat's why we're here. So don't apologize. No big deal. I was just saying in regards to Bernard asking Dolores questions versus Ford asking Dolores, because we see both of them. I think it's more of if I am confronted by a coworker versus my boss, I will answer the questions differently.
Yeah, because we did see that when Ford talks to Dolores, he has a very different approach from how, like, let's say Bernie did. Like, Bernard is more like gentle, kind of more, you know, calmed out, chill out. We see that Ford grabbed her and kind of shook her up, and she was like, "Oh, you're hurting me," whatever. And then he disabled the, the lying or whatever, the dramatics of it. But I don't know, man. It's weird. Like, I do with the whole Arnold thing. I had to believe that there was an Arnold because we did see. Because it depends if you subscribe to that whole theory that is out there about the, you know, timeline thing. If you believe that, because I kind of do. I kind of think that that's it. Like, I don't know, but if that is the case, it makes you wonder. I think that there might be an Arnold. Like, I do believe because we see that Logan and William, they're talking about, you know, who I think is Arnold. I'm not sure. I don't remember if they referenced him exactly by name, but they were talking about him, weren't they?
Yeah, Logan was saying how his company was considering buying this park, and this guy and his partner had an accident, but we can't find any information, not a picture or anything, about his partner. Never used the name Arnold, but that was the implication.
I mean, like, there's a couple of payoffs here that are major that I want to see. I want to see, like, if I by the end of the season I don't see Logan, no, I mean, William and the Man in Black. I'm gonna take it as fact that they're on two different timelines. What do you believe about? Let me ask you that. What, because I'm new here to this Westworld thing. What do you think about the two timelines? Like, do you believe that it is?
Well, I'm actually got a couple of things that I have to figure out first. One of them is something very, very simple. It's a drinking glass. If you remember Lee Sizemore, he's drinking at the pool at the Mesa. He's using a specific glass, and the same exact glass is used by Logan and Billy on the train when they arrive. Okay, so yeah, no big deal. It's a glass, right, John? Get over it. But it's the same exact glass. So I thought that was kind of crazy. The other thing is the logo. We've seen two different logos. One on the glass when Billy or William come into Westworld, and he's escorted by the blonde host up the escalator. And then the same logo is on the lab coat of one of the technicians on Ford's flashback. And then it's also seen by Bernard when he's doing the computer background. But now that we know he's a host, he could have just been thinking that he did that. That may not even have been a flashback. So we have two situations where Ford has kind of forced this extra logo on us, one through his flashback and one through Bernard's flashback or Bernard's exercise. So that's the only thing that throws me off. As far as Billy and Logan being at the park, I don't see that being convincing because of Wild Bill. You remember Wild Bill, the cowboy in the B-83 cold storage unit?
The one that was drinking with Ford?
Right.
Yeah.
So he moves very robotically. Sorry. And then, so he, like I said, he moves very robotically. So it's obvious when you see him, you're looking at a host, right?
Yeah, it looks, and he has like these little glitches that make him look weird.
Exactly. Yeah, so he's definitely a host, and we know he's one of the originals. So if Billy and Logan were 30 years ago, we would see more robotic movements from the host. And I actually talked to Renee Moore about this, where I think we would have more tells that the hosts are older.
Yeah, because we like Dolores is one of those that they confirmed is one of the first, or if not, I think the first one, right?
Yeah, she was in the original episode, and that's why she was the original. So,
I mean, I'm telling you, man, it's getting me. Westworld is one of those shows, man, that it just like it drives you crazy because like I want to see them all, but I don't want to see them all because when I see them, that means more months without anything to see. But I feel that Dolores' story is a lot more impactful. Like, and another thing that I found interesting too is that recently they've been leaving at least one character out. They've like last week I think it was Dolores, wasn't it? This week it was Teddy and the Man in Black.
right.
Like, do you think there's any reasoning for that, or is there anything?
It's just like Bran being out for the whole season. They have work to do that wasn't that important to this part of the story.
No, because I actually kind of thought that they might not want to spoil something, or they need to have like the perfect timing with it, which most likely is that. But I mean, come on, every week you're leaving one character out now. Like that's 2 episodes in a row. That like because I want to know what him and Teddy are up to. Like I want to get there. It's frustrating.
I couldn't agree with you more. Especially with Ford's narrative. I think that's something I want to see more of. I don't know if you know what I mean as far as him constructing the park to make a new story.
I mean, Ford is one of those characters that he's basically tied into everything so far. So if it is a double timeline or whatever, he exists in both of them. That's the same thing. That's why I think that if it is the case that it is 2 timelines and William is the Man in Black or whatever, if that is the case, I want to know because I want to know, like I want to piece all of it together. You know what I mean? Because I have a bad feeling that by the end of the season, we're gonna get maybe the double timeline thing, and then we're just gonna be like, okay, now what? Now we got to piece everything and rewatch it all together, and then we're gonna have still a ton of questions. That's like my number one fear for the series, like for season 1. But I know they can't give away all the magic right away.
So you know that J.J. Abrams was one of the guys that started Lost, the TV show. And so a lot of the things that are in Westworld were in Lost, like the Man in Black. He has no name, that sort of thing. So at any rate, I don't know if you heard today was announced on Entertainment Weekly that the second season has been confirmed by HBO executive. And so we will definitely get a second season, but it may not be until 2018. What do you think?
That's just pissed me off. Yeah, that just made me mad.
Like, now we gotta wait some more, right?
What the hell, HBO? Get your shit straight. I mean, they did it with Game of Thrones. Now they pushed it almost a year and a half back now, or a year and 3 months. Now we're gonna have to wait. What? Oh my god! Because usually, like Game of Thrones, yo, I don't know, man. They better stop playing with me.
You're gonna unsubscribe?
Nah, they better stop playing with me. If they want me, I'll unsubscribe to HBO. I'll be like, yo.
That's what I mean.
Right. I was like, yo, you better give me Westworld or Game of Thrones. Yo, Oh, I think I saw somewhere too that they were talking about a prequel to Game of Thrones. I didn't read the article because I'm avoiding spoilers recently. But yeah, man, like it's crazy. Like I feel that thank God I found a lot of great shows this year though. Like Stranger Things was awesome. I'm not sure. Have you seen Stranger Things?
Not yet.
You should watch it. It's awesome. But I mean, Westworld, man, they better give me Westworld or Game of Thrones within 6 months of each other. If not, we're gonna make a movement, people. We're gonna make a movement.
So yeah, we're actually getting Vikings coming on. You mentioned them earlier. Vikings will be on in 2 weeks, so that'll be good.
So I guess I gotta start watching Vikings then.
Yeah, you've got 3 seasons, I think, to catch up. So you've got a lot of viewing.
Yo, I saw Game of Thrones from season 1 to 3 on a weekend. That was crazy. I was on vacation.
Wow.
Look, it was in December. No, I'm lying. It was in like a February. I remember it was like for season 4. I saw the first time I saw was Joffrey dying. That was the first episode I saw, Joffrey dying. I knew that he was a little asshole, but like I saw him, seeing him die gave me some sick satisfaction. So I was like, you know what? Let me watch this show. And I started watching the first episode. When I saw Bran, I was like, oh my God. And then from there, my sick obsession with Game of Thrones, I don't know if it's even healthy anymore, but I mean, it is what it is, though. I need Westworld or Game of Thrones in my life from now on.
Trust me, if you watch Vikings, you'll be very, very happy. I don't know of another show that's similar to this. It's not a heady kind of a show as Westworld is. It doesn't make you think at all. It just gives you that visceral, that was good. Good.
I think it was Timo, and I don't remember who else in one of my chats. They were like, yo, you got to watch Vikings. They couldn't stress it enough. I was like, all right, I'm going to watch it. And I remember Amelia saw it like in a week. I think she saw it or something. She knocked them down right away. And then she was like, yo, you have to see it. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to see it. I still haven't seen it. Don't judge me. A lot of work.
No judgment here. Yeah, we're here talking about good stuff. So yeah, absolutely. So with the idea of the second season being delayed as much as it is, it really made me think about Anthony Hopkins. And I don't know if you realize, but I think personally that Anthony Hopkins will die by the episode 10.
He's going to get Sean Bean.
He's not going to be Sean Bean like Sean Bean. However, he is going to die, and he is going to be absorbed into all of the hosts. And I think because of the Reverie code that he uploaded into them in the updates, they are going to be able to remember them and not be able to exclude him from being there all the time. So he is going to become the god that he wants to be. But that's my crazy theory, and that just happened this afternoon. So you're on mute.
I mean, for the most part, I thought you were going to go either George R. Martin route, that he might die before the next season, or the Sean Bean, Ned Stark route, which we all know both are kind of morbid. But I mean, I'm really hopeful that, they might push it up, a little bit closer to us. But I mean, it does look like this show needs a lot of CGI and a lot of work into it, like with the landscapes and whatnot. I don't know, man. It would suck if it is 2018. Like bad.
Kind of a weird trivia. Westworld, the movie that came out in '73, was the first movie ever to use CGI. So just a little silly nod there. I mean,
I heard that the book is extremely difficult to find. A friend of mine told me that
there's no book.
There's not what was it? The movie I think was difficult to find. I remember a friend of mine told me that. I'm not sure.
The movie was just on the Sci-Fi Channel, November 9th.
Really?
So it might be on demand.
So he probably didn't know what he was talking about then. Bad information my friend was feeding me.
Well, actually, technically, he's not giving you any mistruth because it's really hard to find because you can't find it. It doesn't exist.
I remember seeing like some old, I think I Googled it. I Googled Westworld, I think it was, and I saw like some yellow, like with a robot or something. I don't remember exactly what I saw, but there's not much on it. That's why I think it's interesting.
There is a user guide or a movie guide that's out there that's that talks about Delos and the destination, the park, but it's not a book in regards to the narrative of Westworld, the movie.
Okay, because I'm not sure. He said like I remember my friend had told me something like something from the dude from Jurassic Park or something like that. I don't remember what it was. I'm not sure if it was the movie then or what it was, but I guess I'll probably have to ask him.
So he had written a couple of other books. One of them was called The Andromeda Strain, Michael Crichton, and he wrote the screenplay and directed both Jurassic Park and Westworld at the same time.
Okay. No, yeah. I mean, one thing that we were talking about Ford. I don't know, man. Like, would it be? Do you think it would be the same without Ford?
I do. Yeah, I think it would be kind of like some of the other series that we've seen, like True Detective or other shows where they've brought in different bad guys, Game of Thrones to be more specific, and make them the adversary. So yeah, it's definitely doable. Not as good, obviously. I mean, I think Anthony's done a fantastic job.
I mean, for if he's up there in age, how old is Anthony Hopkins?
I don't know his exact age. Sorry.
No, don't worry. But I mean, I know he's up there in age, and he has a lot on his plate. Like, he's in Thor, isn't he?
Yes.
In Thor Ragnarok, I think. Like,
yeah, he's
78.
Wow.
So he's a busy man still.
So a couple more people have joined us. We have Timo 30, as I said. DJ 11's in the house. Hello, buddy. Airtak from Turkey is here. He's going to do some Westworld art, I bet. We'll have to interview him on his art. That was a lot of fun. Thanks for joining us. So, what do you think as far as would be the next episode? Like, what's going to really happen after Cullen is replaced? Bernie's there. Oh, I know what I want to ask you about Hale, the black lady that was on the board, the young lady.
Yeah,
I don't know if you remember her, but she was over the top.
Yeah, I've seen I like the actress. I love that actress. She was in Creed, I think it was. I think she was one in Creed. But that character, man, it's like a very fast speed character. Like it goes 0 to 100 real quick with her. Like, damn. I mean, she had like the host in the room out of the park, and I still haven't seen anybody else do that. So it was interesting that she has that much pull, I guess, and the power to actually take one of the hosts that is in the park out of it, or to her room or whatever. One thing that I don't know, man, it's interesting. I have a question that revolves around her too. Do you think that it was them that tampered with the robot? Like, how much do you think that they tampered with it? Or like, do you think that because there's so much stuff, like what happened to this girl that was in the lower level? Like, do you think that was Ford? Like I have oh man, I gotta get my thoughts straight. Do you think that Ford had anything to do with her? Like,
I think he saw what she did. I had a conversation with David Adams earlier, and we were talking about whether Hale was a host, like Teresa's going to be. and Bernie is, or whether, because I don't know if you remember, but she uses the term, we have to have a blood sacrifice, meaning we've got to give up somebody. Somebody's got to be the scapegoat. And Ford, when he kills Teresa, uses the same exact terms. We have to have a blood sacrifice. So he obviously knows what Hale said, whether, yeah, I'm thinking she is not a host. And the reason is because she has to leave the park. So how much control can he have when she's away? That's the only thing I don't know.
I mean, like over the last 2 episodes, I thought that we had enough questions, but there's a couple of things that have gotten me really crazy. Like, to me, that was one of them, because I'm guessing since Bernie is a host, Ford knew they were searching down there, so he must be implicated in some way with her, or with her disappearance, or whatever happened to her, or she must have been a host or something. I don't know, because they don't even know that they're hosts themselves.
No, you're talking about Elsie, the behavior specialist.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think happened to her?
Well, I was actually talking about this with Justin Hicks, and I'm actually torn so far, because I thought for sure we would have seen something about her disappearance. Except we did a little bit, because they showed Bernie looking for her and doing the search, and she was nowhere to be found. So the one thing I do that I probably shouldn't do is I look on IMDb, and it shows her getting credit for all 10 episodes. And I thought that was a giveaway. So,
I mean, IMDb has been a little bit sketchy before, like me doing Game of Thrones stuff, so I know it's not 100%. But I mean, I'm interested in knowing that, because, like, it seems like everyone is always trying to undermine everybody in this show. And, like, it seems like she, like, for example, when we see that Teresa and the new girl who came in, they did to that robot, the host, that you went berserk. Like, I don't know, man. This is one of those shows that really confuses me. That's why I haven't even done videos myself, because, like, I feel like I have so much stuff in my head that I think about, like, to think about from so many different angles. But I honestly think that we will have Teresa replaced. I just don't know what Ford's endgame is, because I do think it would be hard to retain an actor the caliber of Anthony Hopkins that long. So I do agree with what you think, that he might bite the dust by the end of it. Also, like, his endgame though, like, what will provoke his death? Because that means that he didn't win, or, like you said, he maybe passes on to that next level of whatever the hell he's looking for.
I know it's an old, stupid movie, but there was a movie called Lawnmower Man, and he actually is the same thing. He is absolved by reality and put into electronics, and so I think this is kind of like a kind of not that specifically, but that kind of an ending where he's able to be into all of the host, and he would be able to control them by his death. Not, and I think that's what he was talking about when he was describing the new narrative as original, because it was something that, nobody's going to suspect. So just my guess.
Yeah, because his end game is not to get rich. It's not to bring more money into the park. It's not. That's another thing why I think that the man in black is so interesting too, because it seems like he says it. He's searching for that next level. That's something hidden in the park. Like, there must be something else. So it's interesting, and it was also interesting seeing him and Ford bump into each other, because it seems like there's a history to some extent, right?
Well, I don't know if you saw my other video, but on Saturday I did one, and I said that the man in black is actually Ford's brother, and you see the little boy in the black and white outfit at the house, and then you see his brother in the other chair reading the book. And I think that's Tommy, because we see Ford, adjusting the snake with his finger. And the little boy, Robert, that we know now as Robert, he says, Tommy's not going to, believe this. And that's his brother that he was talking to. And I know he's a little bit older in the episode, or what looks like he would be a little bit older. But I still think the man in black is Thomas Ford.
That's interesting. I never thought about that, because I heard that theory about the parallel timeline thing, and I just assumed that it was. But that is an interesting, different point of view of saying it, because I think that is a clue into what exactly happened with this whole Arnold and Ford thing. That is major. I think that they have to do something. It has to do with something. I don't know. I think that it's a big key to what's to come.
So when Bernie asked Ford about Arnold, Ford grabs a picture off of his desk and shows the man that's in the house and says, "This is Arnold." Remember, he does the flashback.
I remember the flashback, but I don't remember off the top of my head. No, today we're talking about all of this. I think I might have to go back and watch all the episodes after today. It's awesome though. I'm hyped, because I really like the show. But now I'm questioning how I watch TV. I'm like.
Yeah, the first episode, I made the mistake of not watching it 100%, going to grab a snack or a drink or whatever, and being in the room but not paying attention. And I missed the fly completely, where Dolores has slapped the fly.
I did pick up on that. I did. You see, I feel like you paid so much more attention to it. Now that I actually got one over you, I'm like, yes, I saw he did it. No, but I'm telling you, I need to go see this back, after today specifically, because I feel like I missed a lot.
Well, my work here is done then. Yeah.
That's why people can't miss this video, man. They got to watch these videos.
No kidding. No kidding.
And the best part about doing it live is that we get to see in the chat room everyone we get to see everyone have, their thoughts on it. And it's awesome, man. I love these live chats.
Couldn't agree with you more. Yep. We've got witnesses to our mistakes, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, I personally am curious as to what's going to happen with the Man in Black. That's the number one story, and this lady again, damn, I forgot her name already.
Teresa Cullen?
Yeah, no, Teresa, no, the brothel manager.
Maeve Milley.
Yeah. Those two characters, I think, are the ones that right now are most piquing my interest. Because I know that Dolores is endgame material. It seems like she's very integral to the maze, the whole maze thing. But I feel that those other two characters, their storylines are a little bit more okay, we might see something more diverse, to say the least.
Yeah, Maeve has makes us feel like she's more in control than she is, but I think that's I don't know if you caught the name of the episode last night, but it's the French word for optical illusion.
Oh, really? You see, I didn't even pay attention to the name of the episodes. I gotta step up my game, even as a viewer. I gotta pick it up, man. Just looking at Game of Thrones is funny, because with Game of Thrones, I'm like, oh wait, blood of my blood. What the hell does that mean? Oh wait, Dothraki. Oh this, or Battle of the Bastards. We all knew what it was, but I mean, I don't even remember one name of, and I think it was Contrapeso. I think it was, or something like that.
Right?
Was it? I think that was the only name I remember, and it was because it sounded Spanish. And I was like, you know what? So
It was Italian, but that's okay.
No, yeah, but like contrapeso is counterweight in Spanish. So I was like, oh, all right, I understand that. Like, hey, Italian and Spanish are very similar. Shout out to my Italian hermanos. I don't know how you say brothers in Italy or in Italian, but shout out to y'all.
Definitely. Yeah, it's part of Dante's Inferno, the contrapasso, and it's about the payment of sin or the justification of your payment of sin. So a little bit different than counterweight.
I'm feeling schooled right now. Like I'm telling you, like I gotta pick up my game, bro.
I just wish I was as good as you are with Game of Thrones. So it's all good.
Oh man, well, thanks, man. But Jesus, man, I gotta pick up my Western and all my little. I gotta do the homework. I gotta put in the work. Not yet, but like no, I see a lot of people talking about The Walking Dead. I've never watched The Walking Dead in my life.
You and me are the same on that. I was just going to admit I've never watched a whole episode. I've tried to watch it 3 or 4 times, going back to the very beginning, and I've never been able to get into it.
You know what? I give you credit because I haven't even seen one. I haven't been able to give it a chance for nothing. Like, wow. I'm sorry. It just seems a little bit crazy to me because like I've seen my brother used to see it a lot, my cousins and whatnot. But to me, it seems a little bit crazy because, I mean, if you're not trying to find a cure to like whatever the hell happened or fix it or build like a society or whatever, everybody's going to die. So that's the way I just see it. I don't know. It's a weird show. I can't watch that many zombies anyway. Like I'm not that big of a zombie guy.
How about The Strain? Have you watched that at all?
No, that looks gnarly though. Like I've seen some trailers for FX. What is it about? Is it like vampires or something? Like,
well, the guy that plays Walter Frey, he's a main character in the show, and it's about vampires. It's a different story than you've ever heard of, about vampires. And yeah, I love The Strain too, Lav. And I think it's pretty good. I think the way they present the old ancient stories of the vampire and how he is the master and moves forward with different hosts, it's pretty cool.
I mean, the thing is with me, there's certain, what's the word? I have certain tiers of goriness and gruesomeness and slimy. If things are too slimy and like Hellboy, I can't see Hellboy. I've seen them. I've seen the movies, but I can't like eat while I'm watching them. It's just like a weird thing, Hellboy. I've seen zombie movies, but I just can't like. So
Hellboy is which part of it is the part that you don't like? Because I think Ron does a great job with that.
I mean, it's not Ron. I mean, I just can't see like the other monsters, like the other things, like slimy and like blood and like guts and stuff. I can't do that. I just can't. Like I don't know how Game of Thrones. I'm so obsessed with Game of Thrones. How I am. Like it's weird. It's a weird thing. Like it really is. It's like it's snowing on a hot June day or something. Gotcha. I don't know.
It doesn't mix, right?
Yeah, I'm just not.
Yeah, I watched the Golden Army probably 100 times. It's just one of my favorites. It's the second Hellboy.
I've seen that one. Like I've seen it a few times, and I've seen the first one. I just can't like eat watching it though. Like
gotcha.
It's one of those. The Strain looks like it's kind of gory.
You definitely don't want to watch it then.
He's like, you definitely don't want to. Yeah, I was like, I could tell. Like the commercials look pretty crazy. Yeah, and it looks like it's a great show. Like that one, I saw it and I was curious. I was like, you know what, that show looks interesting. And then like I just saw I was like, interesting, but not maybe for me.
Maybe after long after you stop eating ever.
Hopefully that's not the case. Food is life. Eating is life. No, but Man, it's crazy because like I on FX what you call it? What's this show? Sons of Anarchy.
Mm.
I picked up on that a little bit. I watched a few episodes, after it finished and whatnot, and it's a great show. But like, there's certain shows that I just fall out of.
Right.
Like they just like it's hard to retain my attention. I guess I don't know. I'm probably like OCD or something, or I don't know what it is. But with Game of Thrones and Westworld, it keeps you intrigued. It keeps you like on your toes as to what's going to happen. So that's why I think that I love them so much.
Cool. So I told you that we would only be on for about an hour. Do you have a minute to take some questions, maybe?
Of course, man.
Oh, cool. So anybody have any questions in the chat?
Now, and what you call it? Now that we have Urtach, that's how you pronounce. Shout out to him. He has awesome work and awesome stuff. But I wanted to request him as a creator of Game of Thrones content, like something like, I don't know, more with Jon and Lyanna and Rhaegar. Like, it's weird when you're doing these videos and you don't really find like to have something maybe done by him. That would be dope. So an idea, maybe if anything he ever does, like an updated photo of what or an imagining of it, because like his work is awesome. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I would love to see.
I know what you mean.
No, yeah, like it's crazy, and they make awesome wallpapers. Trust me, I got the Cersei Dany one, not on right now, but I've had it on. It's awesome stuff he has on.
So when you say that, are you talking about the one that he did, like the twins?
No, he did one. I think it's like with Cersei and the wildfire and Dany. Like that one, I had that one as my wallpaper not so long ago. But I was saying about like he should do like a Rhaegar and Jon or like Lyanna, how he imagines it or however they look. You know what I mean? Because like it would be crazy. I know, like, I'm not sure if you want to talk a little bit of Game of Thrones, but I know that I need to see freaking Rhaegar in the upcoming season. I would just like to see how he imagines him, like, how he creates it or how he would imagine something. Because he had a really cool series on like those the dead, like, characters revived as whites.
Mm-hmm.
That was awesome. I don't even know how he does all that artwork, because I know that that's hella lot of work. Like, I'm a fan.
Yeah.
I mean, like a funny story before sorry to cut you off. Funny story. I was trying to start learning how to use Photoshop for my channel, right? And I did a very simplistic Game of Thrones font, and I made it silver, and I was like, I did this, bam, I'm the man. Imagine how much work goes into drawing those drawings I'm telling you, man, I'm a fan.
Yeah, he is amazing. Urtach definitely blows everybody away with not only his work, which is amazing in itself. You can see a lot of it on DeviantArt, but the depiction of what we want to see in the drawing is probably as important as the drawing itself.
Yeah, those details, man, it's crazy. I know I have family who are like in graphic design and whatnot, and I know the hard work. It's a lot of work, man. It's crazy work. Like, I'm a fan. Just me knowing how much work it goes into it, it's crazy.
So Renee asked a question. Do you think William will die in the park?
William, I don't know. I mean, I think Logan will die. Like, I think that, because I for one, I tend to suffer from like looking at the actor, right? Like, if I'm in a show, I see like the actor, and I'm like, all right, this actor could be in a TV show, could not be in a TV show. Like, his schedule might be busy. Like, there's certain actors in this show that I feel that maybe might be more busy than others. And I know that actor who plays Logan, he's pretty young, and I've seen him in a lot of busts, but I feel that he might, be a little bit more busy. The same with Teddy. I don't know, the actor, I forget his name.
Cyclops?
Yeah, Cyclops.
James Madsen?
Yeah. him also. Like, I'm interested in seeing how. Maybe that's why. Is that why they're pushing it so far? You think? I think he might survive. I think to answer the question, yes, I think William will survive.
Okay.
But do you think that like that's why it's maybe a scheduling thing with the actors? Because there's a lot of busy people on this show.
Yeah, I think they waited too long to give it a second season push, and so when the studio does that, they have to go back to everybody and say, hey, can you re-sign? And obviously, some of them are not going to re-sign because the money's not there, or scheduling for other projects, things like that. So that might have been why they pushed it back, but I don't think he's going to die at all, whether it's in the park or whether he comes back or not. I really don't know.
I mean, hasn't he died? He's like one of the characters that most has died, though. Like one of the hosts, right?
Say that again.
Teddy. He's like one of the hosts that most died, I think, on the whole show. Like, it seems like every episode he dies.
Yeah, Teddy definitely gets more of his share of lead than anybody else. But we're talking about William, right?
I mean, yeah, William. But I was just talking about. I got into the whole thing with when I mentioned Cyclops,
right?
No, but yeah, William. I definitely don't see him die. I don't know. He seems like a pretty good character. If it ends up to be the whole timeline thing, because I still do believe that might be a big possibility. Like I said, I had to rewatch the whole show. Now I'm like questioning everything I've ever thought about Westworld. So, thanks, AU. Thank you very much.
Anytime, man. Anytime.
Ruining me. taking 6 hours away from me because I thought I had it down. Now I have to rewatch it all over again.
Anytime I can create more viewing time for HBO, that's my job.
Yeah, let me find out.
So AirTouch has asked a very important question. He says, "How old are you?"
Who, me?
Well, he's asking me,
but
I'll tell you that I'm way older than you, buddy. No, I just turned 53. I had to think about that. Sorry.
I mean, hey, I'm gonna say it right now. You don't look it, bro. You look.
The check's in the mail, buddy. The check's in the mail. Yeah, I've been around a long time. So, yeah, I was just talking to someone about my my anniversary's coming up. So 31 years. So, yeah, that's a long time.
It is. That's the goal, though, isn't it?
That's longer than most of you guys have been alive. So Renee asked, who do you think is the very first host? I thought that was kind of answered in.
I think it was Dolores, wasn't it?
I thought so.
That's what I thought they said that.
Scruggs, who's the security guy, he's the brother of Thor, Lee Helmsworth. He is talking about Dolores, and he says, she's received all these updates, and she's the oldest host in the park. So I thought we answered that pretty solidly.
I think he said like they had to rebuild her. They put so many new pieces in her or something like that over time that she's basically new. But I think he said that she was the first host. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Justin's got a question. Is Maeve Bernard's real wife? Taking into account they could be based on real people. Yeah, I understand about the real people, and it's a great question. What do you think?
I mean, I think that since nobody knew that Bernard was like a host, what I'm guessing is that to a certain extent, he hasn't had any interaction with any of the other possible hosts. So Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, it would be funny though. I don't know. Yeah, I don't think so. What do you think?
I definitely don't think so. I think
Yeah.
there's a huge difference between the woman he thought was on the screen, because that was all make believe. That was all.
I don't say that. That's crazy. That we even saw that, like, you know what I mean? That he's talking to his ex and whatnot. Or do you think that he actually had an ex?
No, it was all. It was all a reverie. Something that kind of like when Teddy was there and he didn't know who Wyatt was, and then Ford hit the button, uploaded his memory of Wyatt, and then he goes, "Oh yeah, Wyatt, down in Escalante, we were doing all this bandit stuff." So, yeah, I definitely think it was just something Ford had put in.
I mean, it's interesting, man. I'm telling you, I really got to rewatch this.
So DJ11 asks how many timelines and how far apart they are. So you've just based on what you've seen, what do you think?
I think that it's basically just one time. Like, I think that maybe if there is a timeline, it's William and the Man in Black, and I think it's about maybe 25 years because we know that he said that he's gone. No, wait. The Men in Black said he's been going there for 30 years, right? So yeah, I guess it's the 30 years then. I guess I was going to say I thought that it's 30 years. I guess in between. I remember that. You see, I do remember some things.
Mm-hmm. No, it's an important fact. Yeah, I'm gonna say as of today, and I'm probably dead wrong on this, that there's only one timeline.
One? That is interesting. I mean, I could see it being one timeline. But how would you explain Lawrence? The Lawrence thing.
He's a bandit that has two names.
You think there's like two robots, two copies, I guess, or whatever?
Oh, because he was in the same episode, you mean?
Yeah, like the same episode. Or do you think that it's maybe just like a few days apart, each thing? Like, how would you explain that?
It's a great question because we know. Yeah, I just think the fact I just think that's a whole red herring. I don't think there's anything to that other than the fact that he's at a different part of the park, days difference. That's all.
I mean, it's interesting. Like because if it is different timelines, let's say anywhere upward of a year difference, that changes to me the whole show. Yeah. Like it changes the whole dynamic of everything.
Yeah, it's probably the most troubling theory that I haven't been able to nail down up to now. I do understand the part where they, when Teddy comes into town, the sheriff is trying to find Hector Escaton, and he's trying to recruit Teddy. And when Billy and Logan, or William and Logan, come into town, they're trying to recruit for the army to go fight the Confederales. But other than that, there's not really a whole lot of convincing me that there's two different timelines, if you will. The only thing that would do it for me is if they said Logan's company's name is Delos, because that would tell me that was before Delos bought the park, and that's why they changed the logo. So
okay, like rebranding.
Yeah.
Interesting. I mean, I'm telling you, man, I have a bad feeling that we're going to have we're still going to be thirsty for more Westworld by the end of the season. Like, I feel like there's so many questions. It's crazy.
Just like when we used to watch Lost.
I mean, I've never watched Lost, and I heard the ending, and I was told, like, don't watch it. And I was like, why? They were like, the ending. And I was like, really? Is it that bad? And then they told me, I was like, yeah, I would be mad too if that were.
So since we're talking about the ending, what was your favorite ending of a series?
my favorite ending of a show.
Not like Scooby-Doo, but like a real show.
It's like, not like Scooby-Doo. I mean, like TV show, not like, because I was going to say, I mean, there's, it's like I always find like there's always something missing. Like I've thought about like 20. You know which one was messed up? Dinosaurs. The show Dinosaurs. Do you remember that show? I think it was like in the 90s, the puppets.
Mm-hmm.
When the dinosaurs still die anyways. Isn't that how it ended? Like they
Exactly.
I think I think that is just ironic. But I mean, like I'm saying, like I saw this show because like I've binge watched shows before, right? And it's like they live long enough to be bad. Like they die, like they just turn horrible at the ending. Like I really haven't seen that many shows that like I'm like, wow, now that was a good ending. Like I really don't remember off the top of my head. Maybe if you mention one, I'll probably be like, yeah, that was a good ending. But off the top of my head, like I used to love Smallville. Smallville, by the end of it was just like a bad show.
Mm-hmm.
Heroes was horror. I used to love it, like the first few seasons. That ended up sucking. I don't know, man. This question has depressed me a bit.
I'm sorry.
It reminded me
of all the bad times you've spent watching TV.
Yeah, about all the crazy disappointments that I've had by the end of shows.
So, Timo asked, do you think Scruggs, which is the Lee Helmsworth character, do you think he is a host?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's one of those characters that I really haven't thought about. But now that you mention it, I would imagine that maybe Ford does have more hosts in there because it seems like he has ultimate control over everything. And it seems like that position might be one of those positions that he might need. Because, you know, he looks like a security type figure, like, you know what I mean? So he wants eyes and ears wherever, you know, there's might be a power struggle maybe in the future. So I could see a possibility of him being a host. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I'm going to disagree with you on that one, but no big deal either way because he's done his job extremely effective. Although I was pretty mad at him last night when he capped Clementine. She was one of my favorite characters in the show. I just really like the way she looks and the way she does something in the loop like Dolores does. And it's just so simple, but she's able to pull it off and make it.
She's gorgeous. Those eyes, though.
Yeah. She looks like a lot like my wife did when she was younger. So that's probably why.
No, but I just think that I don't think 100% he might be a host, but I think that there is a possibility due to the fact that I just think that Ford is going to he's covered his tracks over the years. Like I think that we might have a lot more hosts than we actually might think at the moment.
Yeah, I just don't see the need for Ford. I mean, hosts are expensive to make. Kind of like the 3D printers that we have now. You just can't make things as inexpensively as you can. You can make them, but they're pretty expensive. And we learned that in this, it's really hard to wipe a host out completely and rebuild. So, that's why I think everybody's not a host. It's just too expensive for the park. And so that's why they bring in these, you know, I don't want to call them creepers, but these young guys that are totally, you know, work for nothing, you know, out in this park. So we'll see.
I was supposed to say, it's also interesting though that Ford has that little printer because you said the 3D printer, but he has it low key in that basement. It takes longer, but I mean, he does have a few hosts that are off the grid. So I'm telling you, man, I think, but I don't know. Now, everybody in the chat room has me thinking about looking. Now, every time I see someone, I'm gonna think it's a host. I hear people asking if Ford is a host. Now I'm like, is he?
What would give you the indication that he would be so vain as to make someone like his younger self if he was a host? That's the.
Yeah, I mean that is a good point. I don't think he's a host because it seems like he's trying to do something transcendent, like he's trying to make himself into this godly figure, or whatever, in this place. But it's interesting seeing also how the people who run the company are so intrigued by like this intellectual property thing, the IP. Like there seems to be some serious value in it that they don't really even care about like the hardware. They just care about the intellectual property, the codes.
Biotic Flux goes, so who is not a host? All the dweeb butcher repair guys I think are not hosts. What would you say is the all the weird guests? I mean, we can tell that there's definitely guests that are not hosts.
I mean, all you have to look is for a very corny, weird looking outfit. Like the most generic cowboy outfit you can find, and that is a guest. That is how you can tell them apart. That's what I'm guessing.
Good point. Check out the clothing.
Yeah. I mean that guy that was with his wife who killed the bandit. Damn, I forgot his name already. The guy from 300. Damn. I forgot the one who was like in the wine colored like the vino outfit that he shot him when they were robbing the
right. Yeah, he shot Hector Escaton and Armistice. Hector. Right.
Him like that outfit. Like I was like, yep, he's a guest. You could tell somebody like that guest.
When you have the gold lame going down your lapels.
Yeah, if you have the cheesy sheriff badge on, like if they take the sheriff badge or they go with the sheriff, you know that they are what you call it. Like it's just certain things like. But I'm interested in seeing, man. I'm telling you, this is going in a good direction.
Good. Well, I'm gonna cut it off if that's okay with you. Unless you see anything that you really want to answer. I really don't want to take up too much of your time. You're.
I mean, I don't know. I almost should be calling it a night too, but I don't know if there's any other question you wanted to take or something. I'm cool.
Yeah, I didn't see anything that we couldn't answer at another time. So, what do you got coming up on your channel?
Well, as of right now, I released a video on brand, and maybe I know that you had a thought on that. I saw your comment. It was something fun. I was just rewatching a few episodes, and it made me think about maybe a little bit of Blood Raven and maybe the direction where Bran might be heading, or if he's being tricked or whatnot. Because we have a lot of gray lines with Bran's character. But I have that. I released a video on that. And I have a couple of other things that I have to release that I've had planned for a while. But, same old Game of Thrones videos every week.
Yeah, your Bran video, I honestly, up until you published it and I watched it, I thought exactly like you did. And then I thought, it just blew my mind because I was like, wait a minute. Why are we blaming this little kid? Even though what he did was with Hodor was despicable, right?
Yeah.
That's not even a question.
I mean,
but why would he do that?
I mean, with me, because I understand that Bran is a kid, right? Mm-hmm. But I don't understand because time travel is not a proven science. It's a thing, depending on however theory you write it or however you write the story out. But based on what I've seen off The Flash, at some time in the future, Bran has had to go back and decide, well, I need to sacrifice Hodor. Hodor has to come with me so that this result comes out. And then, I would imagine, because, I I just don't see a scenario in which Bran is 100% clean in everything that has happened, especially in the books. In the book, it's a lot more darker. So it was a fun video to make, and plus I'm thinking about making a second part because we did get the Children of the Forest video from the DVD that's coming out, and in that it made me think about Bloodraven and the Children of the Forest. Like, how is that an even trade? Because we know that the canon from the show and the canon from the books is very different. They changed a lot of things, but when you look at because we know that the 13th Lord Commander,
right?
The 13th Lord Commander, and his wife, his corpse wife, whatever. Like I just off the top of my head, I'm trying to remember. But on the video that I'm gonna do, like the Knights King from the show and what they gave in one of those lore videos before is very different. I don't think that 13th Lord Commander even existed now in the show. But in one of the previous DVDs, they did do a video on it, like if it was canon and pertained to the show, to the show. So I wanted to do a video just to clear up on how I probably approached the previous video. But, it was fun doing. I always enjoy being in front of green screen. It's always fun editing and stuff.
Yeah, that's very cool. Yeah, I got to do that at a studio one time and green screen. That was really cool. So yeah. Can you tell me, when you do your video, are you going to talk more about Bloodraven, or are you going to talk more about Bran?
I'm honestly thinking about mixing both, because what I didn't do was I really didn't approach the relationship or the situation between Bran and Bloodraven that I mentioned in that video. I just talked about, like more maybe Bran's warging and maybe how Bran has been implicated in certain events, but not really how Bran, from Bran's point of view, because he is a kid, like you said. At the end of the day, we can't blame him, but I think that at the end of the day, he probably has been helping the wrong side, But I'm still not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure how I'm going to approach it. Sometimes I switch things up in the recording process.
Yeah, T says I need to check out his video. That's for sure. It's the only thing, like I said, is when you look at it, look at Bloodraven and see what he did that was sketchy, because I think that's the word that you used.
Yeah.
And being stuck in a tree with a root sticking out of your eye socket is kind of weird. But I don't think that was his. I mean, his desire, to be stuck in that tree.
Of course.
And so I think that's the children, because they're more associated with werewoods than even he was. So
all you have to look at the deal that they made with the first men. It's an uneven deal. Just don't cut down the trees. Why? And we did see that they did create the White Walkers. Now the thing is with me is that I tried to, and like I said, sometimes trying to cram a lot of information and the editing and all that stuff, because I try to do a video at least one a week. So sometimes I get so flushed that I leave things out. But one thing that I wanted to try to do is, and I probably might just do a few videos on it, but I wanted to talk about is how I feel that Melisandre is doing something that she believes is right, and do the ends justify the means? You know what I mean, for her, or is it just for Bran? But it's interesting. After Hodor, I just don't think that Bran is on the good side. You know what I mean? He probably might be helping the wrong people, and he might not know it. But it's interesting. I probably might have you on. We gotta have you on my channel to talk all this stuff.
Well, I'd be honored. Yeah, anytime, morning, noon, or night, doesn't matter.
All right, sounds cool to me. You heard it here, people.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I'm going to let you go. I really appreciate you being here. If anybody doesn't subscribe to Raised Alba's channel, make sure you go over there. The description's in below, so it should be super easy to find. And if you haven't watched all of the episodes of Westworld, I'm not going to eat any chickens. I'm not going to eat any socks.
I'm a rewatch it again. I'm a rewatch it again myself.
But thanks, Ray. I really appreciate you coming on. It was a real honor and always pleasure, fun. Thanks for all the people in the chat. I really appreciate you coming in and joining us and having a good time on Monday evening. And hope to see you guys next time.
Bye, everyone.